So we are now at 5 o'clock, so like to get started. And just so for folks that are new joining, just realize that the meeting is set up so that when you join, your microphone is muted, and that just helps if people join late and we're in the middle of a song. It doesn't interrupt us playing a song. The recording is on, and hopefully, fingers crossed, the magic of Zoom will allow me to get a recording out to you probably Friday or Saturday at the end of the week. I always start with a tuning check. A lot of people don't do this when they do Zoom sessions, but I like to start with tuning, and hopefully that way your dulcimer is as close to mine as possible. Obviously we're not in the same room, so if your dulcimer is off from mine, it doesn't cause too much trouble. It'll just sound a little weird to you. And I'm strapping on my dulcimer. I am going to change my video over to my dulcimer cam, as they say. Hopefully we'll see. Yay, we see a dulcimer. Oh, let me try to put a little light on this end. Okay, maybe that works. Alright. And if I rotate that camera that way, oops, sorry, you don't want to see my thumb, and just down a little bit. Every time I do this, it's just where my chair is and all that kind of stuff. Alright, so I use a tuner. This is a Korg chromatic tuner. You can also use a app on your phone, doesn't really matter, but it does help to tune your dulcimer every time you pick it up. And part of the reason why you want to tune your dulcimer is so that you get your ear trained to what the strings should sound like. Alright, so I always start with the largest string, which is the bass string, and I start there because if I tune the other ones first and end up on the bass string is actually big enough to pull the other ones out of tune. So then I have to go back and retune the other ones. So I like to start with the bass string. Should be tuned in DAD tuning. That should be tuned to what's called the D3. It's the D below middle C on a piano keyboard. And it sounds like that. Yep, I gotta go up a little tiny bit, maybe. But I'm going down. Woohoo! There we go. So hopefully folks are close to that. Thumbs up if you're close to that. Okay. Middle string is an A. Again, that's A3, the A just below middle C on the piano keyboard. Mine's a little flat, so let's get that up. There we go. Thumbs up if you're good with that. Alright, and the melody string is D4, meaning it's an octave above the bass string, and this is the D above middle C. Thumbs up. Okay, great. Alright, so if I'm playing, if something goes bad, south, whatever, please unmute yourself and call it out, because when I'm playing, I'm looking at my dulcimer and I'm not really looking at the screen. And many people, let me know if with a thumbs up if you need the music displayed on the screen. Ah, so we have at least one person. Okay. right, okay, we have a question.
I have a question about that. So I can click on what you sent us, but it's a little bigger than the screen, so I have to like scroll up. So I didn't know if you display it if the whole sheet is showing.
Yeah, so
That's a pain and no one else needs it. I can easily make it work with what you sent.
okay. Does anybody else, so people who use iPads to connect usually can't look at the music and the video at the same time. So I typically do display the music. So if yeah, people want it. Okay, that's fine. I'm with you. I'm sorry. Was someone saying something?
That was just me.
Okay. It it is helpful to have it on the screen. Okay.
Our iPads to get to you.
Okay. So I should be now sharing my iPad screen. Woohoo. And I'm going to go to this application I call Piascore. And I think, Michelle, this is what you were mentioning, is that it's the whole page is displayed. So that's great. Okay. So Gray Cat, and the first three songs that we're playing are songs from last fall that the group was beginning to play last fall. But I will still play them very slowly for the folks who are new this time. Hopefully catch on. Gray Cat on a Tennessee Farm is a very popular jam tune, and it's typically played very quickly. So just bear that in mind, but we're going to play it very slowly for people to learn it. If you are brand new to playing the dulcimer or very new to playing the dulcimer, then please, my recommendation is to focus on the melody. And by oops, let me see if I can, so the melody line is the bottom, so under the notes there's lines of tab, and so the melody line in this song is the numbers on the very bottom, so 4 5 7 4 5 7 4 5 7, and if you can throw in the chords, fine, great, try the chords, otherwise just focus on playing that melody line on your melody string. If you're a more advanced player, then what I can suggest is when you do play this song, it's a good idea to sort of plant your ring finger on the 4 and then use your thumb to play the 5 and 7. And it just helps you, and that you never take your finger off for the first line, you never take your finger off the 4. You're just adding in the 5 and the 7, and that helps you play it more smoothly and faster over time. Likewise, on the B section, which is the second and third line of the music, plant an index finger on the 3 on the middle string, and then use your thumb to do the 3 4, and then rock back to the 3 2. But never take your finger off that 3 on the middle string. And again, by doing that rock motion back and forth, you're going to play it faster eventually, and it's going to sound smoother. Alright, so we're going to get started. This is a tune in 4/4 timing. I'm going to count us in very slowly, and I'll count 1 2 3 4, and then you'll come in on the song. Let's go for it. 1 2 3 4. That line repeats. Now we're going to the second line. third line. Back to the beginning. Last line. Back to the beginning. Wait. How's it going for folks? Do you folks want me to go a little faster? Thumbs up if you want faster. Michelle is just a little bit. Just a little bit. How's everybody else feeling about a little faster? Okay. Few more people. Okay. So this time through we'll play it a little faster. And I just encourage you, if you get lost, if you get stuck or whatever, come back in where you think you can, because that's an important skill to master too. Is that when you're playing with other people, if you lose your space, you lose your place, it's a good idea to just come back in when you feel comfortable. You can come back in. All right, so we'll play this one a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops, sorry. Where am I? What am I doing? Back to the beginning. Yay, how did that go? Thumbs up if it went okay? Yeah, any questions, any issues, any problems? Okay. So yeah, I encourage you to practice. I encourage you to actually memorize this song. It is a very popular jam tune. So you'll be playing it if you do play with others, you'll be playing it a lot. I can also offer a variation if you're sick of playing it this way. You can play 4, 5, 7, and then 9, 8, 7, and then 4, 5, 7, 2, 1, 0. So that variation again, 4, 5, 7, 9, 8, 7, 4, 5, 7, 2, 1, 0. That's actually the original way I learned to play the song, is with that variation that goes up to 9. And a lot of what we're going to focus on in some of the coming music is really focusing and learning the frets above the 7th fret. I threw a lot of songs in that include that, so you'll see it the rest of the night too. Okay, shall we move on? Oh, you know what? Sorry, I had to turn on my foot pedal to turn the music. So this next song is Whiskey Before Breakfast. Thumbs up if you've seen this before, played it before. One, maybe a couple have seen it before. It looks frightening, doesn't it? But it isn't really. Once you get used to it, it really isn't that frightening. It's just a bunch of runs. And one of the things that I like about this song is that it will help you to learn strumming in and out. If you're not strumming in and out, then I encourage you to practice that on songs like this. And what I mean by that is, so the first measure, I'm going to strum out on the open, and I'm going to strum back in on the 1. I'm going to strum out on the 2. Strum in on the 3, and then the 4 is just a quarter note, and I'm going to strum out, out. And then going back down, strum out for the 4, strum in for the 5, strum out for the 4, strum, and then you just follow that pattern through. So for each 8th note, you're going to strum out and strum in, and you're going to move your fingers accordingly. And what's really important is to focus on the coordination between your strumming hand and your fretting hand. And so that you're moving your fretting hand and your strumming hand in different ways, but in a coordinated fashion. So we're going to play it really slowly to begin with, just to get that pattern of in and out going. This song also goes above the above the 7th fret, so in the B section. So we'll work on that down there. The first 2 lines repeat as the A section, and then the second 2 lines repeat as the B section. All right, again, it's in 4/4 timing, so I'll count to 4, and then we'll come in, and we'll play. I'll try to count at the speed we're going to play it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the beginning. Now on to the B section. Oh, that 10. Now it's going to come back down. To the beginning of the B. Thumbs up if you felt you could keep up with that. Sort of, not really. Okay. Does anyone want to unmute and say where they might have a particular question or trouble?
I think the B part, going up and down and starting from like sort of different places and keeping track of where you are, that's where I lost it. Like I I did the first half of the first line, but then I didn't do the 8, 9, and 10 part very well.
Okay. Let me, I'm going to unshare for just a second and offer, stop, okay. And I'm going to pin my dulcimer, and that hopefully, yay. So hopefully everyone's seeing my dulcimer. So this is really a simple and crazy exercise. You hate yourself when you realize how easy this is. If you're having trouble finding frets and keeping up with where the frets are, particularly higher up in your dulcimer, then I will offer this to you. For 5 minutes in your practice sessions over the next couple of weeks, start at 1 and just fret 1 and play it and say it out loud. 1. Now on this dulcimer, ignore this fret. This is an extra fret. This is a 1.5 fret, the fret that's here. So let's try to ignore that one. So I'm just going to go up and say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm looking at the screen trying to fret my dulcimer. Sorry. I'm at 5, 6, 6.5, 7, 8. This is another extra fret, so ignore that one. We're going to go to 9, 10, and if you wanted to keep going, 11, 12. And just do that up and down. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6.5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I promise if you do that for about 5 minutes, every time you practice your dulcimer, you will quickly know where these frets are up here, and you won't have so much trouble finding and moving around to them. I know it's stupid simple, but this one really does, I think, work. And the trick is to fret, play it, and call out the number. So you have to think, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, and it's the act of actually saying it out loud that's going to help you navigate that fretboard.
Also, Linda, I only just now, because we did this, realized, oh goody, the 8 is all by itself. It's like a little landmark in the middle of the ocean. The 8 separated from the other, so you can get to 8 and then know 9 and 10.
So
you know what I mean? It's not near. It has big spaces around it. On mine, anyway.
Hold on. Let me get my other dulcimer. That should match yours, right? So on mine, oops, get the strap on so it doesn't fall off my lap. This doesn't have the extra frets. It's just harder to see the frets in the video. So this is 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's really the 10th fret that has 2 big spaces on either side of it. Right? So this is 7. That's the third of the set of 3, usually, if you have a 6.5 fret, right? And then it's the 10th fret that has the 2 spaces on each side, right? So Michelle, did you want to take a look at that again?
Mine just looks like the 8 from the 7 to the 8 is a nice big square.
Yep, and then
8 to the 9 is a little smaller, but it's still bigger than anything else up there.
Yep.
So, and then then between the 9 and the 10, a little tiny.
Yes. So that exactly that's the 10th fret is the small space that is between the 2 big spaces up here. That would be your 10th fret. I should probably get this dulcimer in tune. Come on. Thank you. Oops, too far, too far, too far. Come on. can see why I like my other dulcimer. This one is harder to tune. Yay, okay. So yeah, if you do that exercise of counting up and down the frets, going all the way up, you know, so this is 10, 11, 12. Usually you're not going to go much above 12, but if you get that exercise going, it will help you find those landmarks. So give that a try. Okay, let's go back to the music. Alright, we're going to share again the screen. Hello, technology works. Start the broadcast over that way. And I'll just keep using this dulcimer. As I say, it's just a little harder to see the frets, but I think it might help. Okay, so that was Whiskey Before Breakfast. And again, I just offer to play this smoothly. You really just want to be kind of using your thumb sometimes to be going up and down. And then, like on the last measure of the first line, it's a 1, 0, 1, and then you're going to use your thumb. You're going to stay on the 1, 0, 1 for the whole measure, and you're just going to go 1, and then put your thumb down for the 2, 3, 2, 1. Right? So, does that make sense to people? And the last measure of this line, you have a 1, 0, 1, and so I'm using like my middle finger and my ring finger to get the ones. Whee! Let me get my other fingers away. And the bass and the melody, and then I use my thumb. I leave those down for the whole measure, and I just use my thumb to go back to the 2, 3, 2. And that just smooths out the playing. This song also has a hammer on the last measure of the second line, and the last measure of the song itself is suggesting a hammer. You leave the 1, 0, 1 down and you hammer your thumb on the 2. You can do that or not. It's up to you. If you're an advancing player, it is a good idea to get in the habit of trying those ornamental hammer-ons and things like that, because that's what's going to be. If you ever want to win the Winifred Mountain Dulcimer National Championship, that's something to work on. Okay, let us move on and move on to Who's Gonna Shoe Your Pretty Little Feet. Again, I want you to focus on strumming in and out. And part of the reason for that, focusing on strumming in and out, it's going to help you get the timing when you get to these dotted quarter notes, right? So in this song, if you look at the last 2 measures of the first line, there's what's called a dotted quarter note. And so that note is held for a little bit longer. But the question is, how much longer do you hold it for? And in this case, I'm suggesting you're going to play out, you're going to strum out, you're going to strum back in, you're going to strum out, and then when you strum back in the very next time, you're going to put your finger down on 5. Right? And that's how you get that timing down. Right? It's a little awkward to begin with, and it's something to practice, but it helps you get the timing when you're dealing with these dotted notes, is to strum out and in. So for a single measure, this is in 3/4 time, so there's 3 beats per measure. That would be 1 whole measure, right? You're strumming out, strumming in 3 times. Alright, and then the other way is to just learn the song and play it rather than focusing on the notes. And we're going to get to learning the song by ear, where you're not going to have the notes in front of you at all. And I offer that because in reality, even if you read music like I do, you always are learning the tune by ear anyway. So it's a good thing to practice anyway. All right, so this is 3/4 timing. So I will count to 3, and then we will come in. 1, 2, 3. Second line. 2, 3, rest. 2, 3. Third line. Last line. 3, rest. 2, 3. Oh, I forgot to mention, this is a slightly modified version of the version I sent out in email. And it's modified in that last line where it says, be your man. I'm just making it slightly easier to play. And I hope Steve Smith will forgive me for modifying his beautiful arrangement. But yes, I will send a copy of this out when I send out the recording too. Alright, so one of the things that I do when I'm counting time is, like, for example, in the first measure, there's a half note. So I will strum, and I will keep my hand moving, not hitting the strings, but keep my hand moving to keep the beat. Okay? And that's an important thing that you might want to try and do. It's also a good idea to tap your foot or do something, but something's got to keep your rhythm going steady. So let's play this one again. Again, we'll count to 3 and then we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah. 2, 3. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So I hope that's coming along for folks. It's a pretty short little tune, but again, I'm using it as an exercise in strumming in and out and keeping these rhythms and getting familiar with how you can get your body to help you keep track of those rhythms. Alright, moving on. Woohoo! The Blackest Crow. So the next 4 tunes, actually, these are new tunes to the group. Some of you may have heard them before, but these are songs that 20 years ago, when I learned them, they made me fall in love with playing the dulcimer. They really changed my whole perspective and really encouraged me to go much deeper and really practice more, because they're beautiful. All of them, I think, are waltz timing, 3/4 timing, and they're just really pretty songs. And they're pretty much all of them except Beautiful Dreamer are really old. These are really traditional, 300, 400, 500-year-old songs, and so they're really pretty. And for a song to have that kind of traction over that many years, it really has to resonate with a lot of people. So I guess that's why it resonated with me. So the Blackest Crow. This is actually, it sounds really dark and deep, and it's in B minor, which is a minor key, makes it sound even dark and deep. But it's really a love song, and and essentially the lyrics are, the blackest crow that ever lived would turn to white, my dear, if ever I prove false to you. Bright day would turn to night, you know. So basically saying, I am true as true can be, and I'll never, and I love you, and that's never going to change. And that's what this song is all about. And there's multiple verses, and multiple people sing it in different ways, but that's essentially what this song is about. Alright, we're going to play it. Now, for those of you who are just beginning, note that there are some notes that for the melody that end up on the middle string. The third measure, there's an open middle string. So just bear with that and work with it as you can. The melody is not completely on the melody string for this tune. Alright, we're 3/4 timing. I'll count to 3 and we'll come in. Oh, sorry, there's a pickup note, excuse me. So I'll actually count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we'll come in. And this, for those of you joining me who have never seen this before, this song is 2 pages. So on the display, I will, when we get there, change the thing with my foot pedal. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. One, two. 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2. And then you'd go back to the beginning. How did that feel for people? Keep up? Thumbs up? Questions? Comments? Trouble?
It's me again. Could you play it through once, only because maybe some people haven't heard it, but I have heard it, and there's a few spots that aren't matching what I'm used to in my head, or that I just don't know well enough. So could you play it once for us?
Sure. And the point that you make is very good, and it's important to keep in mind. These songs are hundreds of years old and have been played by probably tens of thousands of different people with tens of thousands of different interpretations. So just bear that in mind. It may not sound like the song that you know because the person that you heard it from was playing a different interpretation. It should sound close enough that you can recognize the tune. I mean, that's the folk music tradition, is that you shouldn't play it so differently that people can't recognize the tune. But I will play it again. More up to tempo. Here we go. I'll count in, and if you guys want to play along, that's fine. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, sorry. That's about the tempo that I've usually heard this played. Does that sound closer to what you're recognizing?
There's just one surprising note difference that's why I wasn't sure if I was playing.
Okay.
So I'm good.
Okay. And the other thing to keep in mind is that B minor is not necessarily the key that this song is played in. I've seen it played in G, I've seen it played in D, I've seen it played in a whole bunch of other keys as well as B minor. I just happen to like the B minor version because it's kind of haunting. Okay, so folks want me to play this one again, or shall we move on? Thumbs up for moving on. Okay. Alright, I'm not seeing a lot of thumbs up for moving on, so maybe we want a thumbs up for playing this one more time. Okay, equivocate. Alright, so let's actually move on because there's a lot of new tunes to learn and we're going slow, and slow is fine. In fact, again, that's another diversion, tangent, woo, wait, squirrel. It's really important for you when you're practicing these tunes to play them as slow as you need to play them in order to get the tune correct. And as you get more familiar with the tune, then speed it up and go back to up tempo, but play them as slow as you need to play them in order to learn the tune. Because if you try to go too fast, your fingers will start making mistakes, and you'll learn the mistakes instead of learning the way to play the tune. So play it slowly enough so you're not making mistakes, and then you'll be able to speed it up. Okay, so the Four Marys is another very old song. It's actually, people say, oh, this is Mary Queen of Scots. It's, a whole bunch of, very, very, people have said, oh, this is about King Henry's, one of his wives. But the song actually, over the years, has acquired at least 99 different verses. And it can be everything from a love song to a murder mystery, depending on who's singing it and what version, which verses they choose to sing. I'm gonna eventually, when we play it together, I'll play it straight, at least the first time. But I also want to offer to those of you who are moving up. I also play a finger-picking version of this song, which goes something like this. Yeah, can I even play the music today? So it's a really kind of pretty song to finger-pick. And we can work on that once we know the tune if you want to. But let's start off playing it really slowly. It's again waltz time, so I will count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we will come in. This song, all the notes on the melody line are the melody, so you don't have to worry about any of the chords if you don't want to play them. I suggest if you're beginning to play chords, you can also just play the melody line. The melody line obviously is the melody, but like for example the beginning of the second line with the B minor, if you don't want to do the full 2, 1, 2, you can just do you can leave the bass string open and just play the 1, 2, and likewise move up. When you do the 2, 2, 4, you can just do the 2, 4 in the middle and the melody, and that just helps you move into playing more of the chords if you can't get all 3 fingers for the chords. Alright, gonna count in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 2, 3. 2, 3, 1, rest. Two, three, 1, 2. Back to the beginning. Hey, how did that feel? Okay, thumbs up, thumbs down, questions, comments? Yeah, it's okay, it's okay. This it'll grow on you. It's just like the 99 verses will. If you look it up, you can see all the different verses you can sing to this song. If you are working on smoothing out your playing and moving up a little bit, one thing I can offer in this particular song is the last measure of the third line. It's a B minor chord with a 2 on the bass and a a 1 on the middle string. And I'm using my index finger on the bass to get the 2 and my ring finger on the 1 on the middle string. And I leave that down for the entire measure. So starting from just before the 2, then I switch to the 2 1 0 C-ton, and then for the the last one, I drop my pinky down onto the melody string. So I haven't lifted up anything, I haven't moved my hand, I haven't moved my fingers at all. And then I bring my pinky up to get the 2 on the melody string and use my thumb on the 4. Okay, does people see that and have questions about that? The reason why I'm saying this is that, smoother playing, you have only 3 strings. So those strings have to keep ringing. And the only way to keep them ringing is to keep your fingers on them for as long as you can, until you have to move them again. That's the #1 way to smooth out your playing. Okay, moving on. Southwind. Southwind's a beautiful waltz, and it's played in lots and lots of dulcimer clubs. So it's a great song to learn. It's a great song to memorize. And this is a wonderful version by Steve Smith. I think almost everyone plays this version. So just note that there is a repeat. This particular version, the repeat sign is sort of towards the end of the second line, but isn't the end of the second line. So just recognize where that repeat is. So we'll play that first section twice, and then move on to the B section. And this song is almost entirely on the melody string. There are a couple of places where it does go up onto the middle string. Alright, we're going to count to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then come in again. And this is also a good thing to practice those dotted quarter notes, because they're all over the place in this song. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Whoops, sorry. Total, where am I? What am I doing? Breathe, Lena, breathe. Okay, I'm going to start again on the correct frets this time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. B section. Oops, sorry. Where am I? What am I doing? I'm going to start the B section again. I'll count to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 to come in, and that's the 4 just after the repeat sign on the second line. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, so again, you can just focus on playing the melody, but there's really just a few 2-finger chords in here, and if you can get them, they're great. For example, the beginning of the third line, you have a 5 on the middle string and a 4 on the melody, and that's a dotted quarter, and then there's a quick 5-5 before going back to it. So I'm using an index finger or my middle finger on the middle string, and then my ring finger on 4, and then I just use my thumb to drop down on that 5. So I'm not lifting anything up, I'm not moving anything, these strings continue to run. I'm just adding a quick thumb for that 5. Does that make sense to people? People have questions about that? It just makes it sound really pretty when you keep those strings down and ringing. If you lift your fingers up or move your fingers, it's going to change how those strings are sounding. Okay, I'm going to play it one more time through, and maybe I'll get through the whole thing without messing up. Part of the problem for me, and I know this is true for other people, when you have the song memorized, it's really hard to play it off the music, because I'm so used to playing it the way I've memorized it, which is it's always a variation of what's on the page. I do encourage you to memorize songs when you can. It's really healthy for your brain, but it's also how you can start playing from your heart. Okay, we're going to count to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then come in again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Section. Another thing with waltzes in particular, get your body moving. You know, get your whole rhythm section of your whole body going, because it's a waltz, and actually most other cultures other than Western European and American culture, the word music actually means music and dance. Right, so just bear that in mind to get your rhythm going, get your body moving as if you're waltzing. And the reason why I suggest that is because it will really help you keep the rhythm flowing. Okay, moving on. Beautiful Dreamer. Now this is one of the this is a really pretty song, and it's reasonably new from Stephen Foster. This is in weird timing. It's 9/8 timing. Okay, which is kind of like 3/4 timing if you know your fractions. So it's going to sound a lot like 3/4 timing, but it's actually in 9/8 timing. And what I suggest that you do is actually play exactly what is written on this page. And if you have to, work on it measure by measure, because it is superbly beautiful. And it will help you learn all these frets and how to get to them. So I'm going to start with my index finger on 7. So that's the first note. So see how pretty this is? Okay? And see, when I played that wrong note, you knew instantly it was a wrong note, because that's how your brains work, and it's really kind of wonderful. It's a great thing about music. So we're going to play it a lot slower than that, but to begin with, and we'll work through it. I think most of the melody is on the melody line, so you can ignore all the other stuff if you want to. But I do encourage you to try and get this one completely under your fingers, because it will make you fall in love with the dulcimer more than any other song I know. This one made me absolutely like, wow, what else can I do? All right, we're going to count in. I'm not going to count to 9. I will count to 3 twice, and then we will come in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. It's the end of the second line. End of the third line. Oops. Sorry. End of the fourth line. Okay, moving on to the second page. I love this line. Okay, third line on this page. And this was where I really fell in love with this song. Okay, I'm not playing it right because I'm talking. This part. Oh, this is so pretty. Okay, thumbs up, who agrees this is really pretty? Yeah, okay. not convinced. So it took me, you know, a solid, did someone raise their hand?
Yes, I have a question. The picking part is played at what tempo? I tended to want to play it too fast, and it sounded better the way you were playing it, obviously. So I wasn't sure what the tempo was supposed to be when you're picking it. Is each pick eighth note, quarter note?
Right, so so the song is mostly eighth notes, right? Because the eighth note is the beat of the measure, and I treat them as, you know, like that, trying to keep it on the beat. So the first measure would be 7, 6, 7. Let me play it up to tempo so maybe you can hear it better.
Okay, okay.
Does that help?
Thank you. That helps a lot because that was the tempo I had in my head, but we were playing it slower and it just wasn't blending.
Right. Sorry. Yeah. I'm trying to play it slow for those people who are just learning the song so that they can keep on. And again, I encourage everyone, play the song as slow as you need to in order to get it under your fingers, because it's a really pretty song. Once you get it, and there really isn't that many long stretches in here with the chords, like even in the you know, the getting the 3, 4, 5, that's not that hard if you're ready for it. You know, you just know I've got to put my 3 fingers down on those 3 things. So, all right, how about if I play it once more, a little same speed or a little faster? Sounds like I was confusing people. Same speed, Michelle. Okay. I'll try to go for the same speed. Forgive me if it changes. Again, I'll count to 3 twice and then we'll come in. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The end of the second line. Last line on this page. Oops, sorry. Third line. It's a really pretty part. And this does have an alternate ending, which is the small section. Whoops, small section at the bottom, which once you go through it second time or third time, you can go. Just a really, really pretty ending. The other thing to note about this song is in that last line of music, you have the 0, 1, 0, 3 about the middle of the line, and then there's a triplet. And you can get that by, playing the 1, 0, 3. This is the last full line of the music, and then there's a 2, 3, 2 that's tied together, and it's what's called a triplet. And the way to think about the timing of that is to say out loud to yourself the phrase triple it. It's 3 notes that take up the space of 2. And I'm just sliding my thumb to get that. And just repeat, think of triple it. All right. It's a great song to work on. If you have to work on it measure by measure, I really highly encourage you to do so. Okay, we're going to turn off the share. I will send out the music for Soldier's Joy when I send the recording so that you have the printed music. This is a song that I hope you agree with me is a great song to learn by ear. There's a lot of different versions to this song, and I'll show you at least one different modification to it. But it's a pretty straightforward song, and the A section is all on your lower end of your dulcimer. It comes up to 7. The B section is all above your the 7th fret. So it really will, if you're having issues with knowing the frets above 7, it will really help. Now, one of the things that I will offer is if you use a strap on your dulcimer, it's really helpful to push your dulcimer way off your knee so that you can reach these frets way up high. Okay? So just bear that in mind, that you might see me playing with my dulcimer to get it cocked, but I also have to keep it in the camera angle. So, all right. So I will tell you this. Almost every musician learns songs by ear. You have to get it in your ear and your head before you can really play it, even if you're reading the music. The musical notes is just a representation of what the song sounds like. So even if you're reading the musical notes, you're teaching yourself how the song goes by ear. And quite frankly, the music notation system that we have is really only about 400 years old. The entire human history of music making on this planet, 30,000, 40,000 years old, it was all taught by ear. We really didn't have this sense of reading notes, except for in the last 100 years in a very classical music tradition. Even in dulcimer tradition, early in the Appalachians in this country, tunes were passed down by ear. So I really do encourage you to learn this technique and to try and try it from time to time whenever you can. Okay, having said that, often people will say when they are ear-only learners, they can't read music, but they're ear-only music players, they'll often ask, well, what fret does it start on? So in a sense, they're not necessarily just playing by ear either, right? Because they want to know what fret it starts on. In this case, we're going to start on 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the B section. I'll play it slowly, and I'll call out the frets as we play it for the first few times. And then, excuse me, what did I say, the B section? I'm going to play the A section first. and we'll play it a few times through, and then we'll move on to the B section. The B section is actually easier. It's just higher up on your dulcimer. So, okay, so we're gonna start on 4, and the song goes 4, 2, open, 2, 4, 7, 7. So I'm gonna start again. Try to do that with me. 4, 2, open, 2, 4, 7, 7. And you probably didn't hear me say those numbers quite as loudly as I did the first time. Let's try it again with just me playing. We're starting on 4. Have we got that so far? So far good? Thumbs up? It's cheating if you've played this song before. Alright. Is anyone having seriously difficult issues and has a question? Alright, so I'm going to start again. So that's the first section. This goes... Then the next line is almost similar, but now we're going to go to 3, 1, 1. And then we're going to go back to the... And the very last part of the A section is we're going to be at 9. Okay, so that last section is 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, 7, 7. So Michelle, right? 9's right before 10. Okay. So let's play the whole A section through. I'll count us in. 1, 2, 3, 4. This time. Back to 7. Now the ending. Alright, shout out, unmute, or put hand raise or something and let me know if you're having any trouble with that part. Okay, Michelle.
Can you just play that last few notes, the high ones, just by themselves?
Sure. It's 9, 9, 8, 8, 9, 7, 7.
Got it. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay. So, we're going to move on to the B section. Okay? The B section starts on 9, believe it or not. Goes 9. This is the ending that you know already. Okay, so that's what it's going to sound like when we get to it, but let's play it slowly first. I'm going to start on 9. Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 10, 11. Excuse me, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. 9, so let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 9, 10, 11, 8, 9, 10, 9, 10, 11, 8, 7, 5, 4, 9, 10, 11, 8, familiar ending. Alright? Any trouble with that? We'll play it again once slowly, and then we'll put the two parts together. Alright? Counting again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting on 9. 9. 8, 9, 8, 7, 5, 4, 9. Now for the familiar. Alright. Anyone totally lost and hates what we're doing? Okay, I'm seeing smiles. I'm not seeing anything else, right? So again, I'm encouraging you to do this because it's essentially what you're doing when you're reading music anyway, number one. Number two, when you learn a song this way, you actually memorize it much faster than any other way that I know how to teach music. So learning a song this way, you'll actually know this song a lot faster by playing it by ear. Alright, so we're going to start at the very beginning. We'll go through the whole song. The A section repeats twice. The B section I can't speak anymore. Repeats twice. Alright, so 2 A's and 2 B's. Alright, and remember we start on 4. And once we do this, I'll show you a slight variation that you can do if you do actually end up wanting to go try for that national championship. Alright, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Starting out, I should have said, again, we're on the A section, so we're starting on 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. End of the A section. Starting at 9. Section again. Thumbs up if you got most of the way through it. Yay! Yay! Alright, keep your thumbs up because I got to switch screen. Great! Okay, cool. Alright. So again, I encourage you, when you can, to learn songs this way. Now, if your intention is to become the national champion dulcimer player, then you really got to play this a lot faster, and you got to throw in some ornamentals. And by throwing in some ornamentals, at the very beginning of the tune, what you can do is you're going to play 4, but you're going to hammer on 5 and pull it off quickly. So let me play it through once a little faster, showing you that kind of an ornamental on this. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Section once, but you get my drift. That in order to progress, you got to practice the song so that you know it, and also start speeding it up. And as I say, throwing in some ornamentals. You can also play the song on the bass string. I'm sure you've seen this before. Okay, because it's just an octave lower. And then, you know, when you really get going, you can start trying it to find it on your middle string as well. And those are the techniques that progress you as a dulcimer player and end up allowing you to like win the national championship. Something I've never aspired to, but a lot of people do. Oh, we're coming to the end of our time. All right, okay, I'm talking way too much. I promise the next section we won't be talking as much. Let me just take a look. There's a number of other songs that we have to learn. Let's just see. I think yes, good, yay, okay. And so this is the music. You'll see when I send it out, you can see I do have that hammer on, that 4-5-4 thing at the beginning. You can ignore that and just play a 4 if that's you're just learning to play the song. But that's what the music will look like when I send it to you. All right. I'm gonna skip Barlow Knife and move on to Planxty Fanny Power. This song was suggested by one of the participants. It's a song we work on, and it's a beautiful song. O'Carolan was an Irish harp player. He was alive in the late 1600s and early 1700s in Galway, Ireland, and he just produced thousands of tunes, and they're very popular with dulcimer players. And so you can get whole books of his tunes that people arrange. This song, the B section, is a little more challenging than the A section. And one of the things that I often suggest in a song like this is it's often a good idea to practice the song backwards. So start and learning the last line of the music and then move backwards. So and then you can do it measure by measure. So I will demonstrate that with this. So the last measure, of course, is just an open. So moving back one measure from that. This is the second to the last measure of the song at the very end. The line, you have an open, you know, it's going to sound something like that. Okay, and if you just practice those two measures and get them right, it's like, oh, that's a nice finish to the song. And once you feel like you've got that measure, those two measures down, then move back one measure. So this is going to be the measure that has an A7 above it. The number of the measure is 30. Starts with a 1-0-1. So that's a demonstration of what I'm talking about, of practicing it backwards. And the reason why I'm suggesting practicing some songs backwards is specifically if the song is more challenging in the second section, which a lot of dulcimer tunes are, you end up practicing the more challenging part more often and more frequently, and it just helps you get it cemented faster. Alright, but we're going to start from the beginning and play it through. It's a waltz time, so I will, and there is a pickup measure, so I will count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and then we will come in. Oh, before we do that, I just wanted to point out that if you're working on smoothing the song out, and everyone to some extent should be working on smoothing it out, you're going to get to, so the first measure here, that E minor chord, okay, measure 3. Pick a finger for the 1 on the bass string, because you're going to keep that finger on the 1 on the bass string for a whole bunch of measures. So make sure you're picking a finger that you can work around to get all the other fingering in. Okay? It's not difficult. Just make sure you do that. And then you're just holding that 1 down. And now you release it. Okay? And so that's just a method of smoothing out the playing and keeping that 1 on the bass string ringing for the entire time it needs to ring. All right, we're going to play it a lot slower than that. All right, we're going to count in 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Repeats. Ah! Okay. She can play it. Ah! I'm murdering the song. I would never win the national championship. Okay, we're going to move on to the B section now. This is pretty. See this pattern? Last line. That repeats. Such a pretty pattern. Here's the pattern again. Worth learning. Thumbs up if you think it's worth learning. Yay, okay. Lots of enthusiastic thumbs up there. Alright, we are just at 6:30. Lots of other songs that we'll bring in once we know these tunes and are playing them. I'm gonna stop my share. Technology, we can do it, yay. And I'm gonna change my video around. Oops, well that's one way to do it. That's another way to do it. I'm going to unpin me. Can I unpin me? Ooh, now that's a question. How do I remove pin? Yay! Alright, how did that go for folks? I know a lot of people dropped off because we got late, but how did that go?
Fantastic. This link was sent to me by a friend, and I'm wondering if I can get on your mailing list so that I can get this, or I don't know what I have to do. I'm not technically savvy.
Do you know how to email? If you can you send me an email, or do you want me to just write down your email? Is it easy enough I could write it down?
Sure. It's B. Ashmore, ASHMORE,
Okay.
at SBC Global.net.
Okay. And let me just read it back to you. B. Ashmore. B. Ashmore at sbcglobal.net.
That's me.
Perfect. I will add you to the email list, and I send emails not very frequently, just, announcing the next session, and it's always the first Tuesday of the month.
Okay.
And I'll just also share the music and the recording to the same list.
Fantastic. Thank you.
No worries. I hope it was helpful.
Oh, very much so. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm very poor with timing, so it was really good.
Okay. How about others, folks? How are you doing? Good? You keep coming back. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna hit end. Just bear in mind that if you quarantine registration for the next session, which is in February. Quarantine is a Zoom only Dulcimer festival, so all of the lessons are given over Zoom, and they're only $10.75 each. So if you only want to take 1 or 2 sessions, classes, it's really economical. But the registration for that, I think, opens this coming Sunday. And a lot of sessions will fill up almost immediately. So look for that. Do a Google search for quarantine, and get in line for those sessions if you're interested. I think it's February 10th-ish, maybe. I can't exactly remember the date. Other than that, I hope this was helpful, and I hope your new year started on a more joyous note. So, thank you.
Thanks, Glenn.